It must have been a simpler time in the world. Just being able to go out, pick the crops that you want, mingle with your fellow farmer, come in, feed the family, and then go about your life selling the stuff at a farmer's market. But you know what? We need to also think about efficiency. Efficiency, space, productivity, all these things are very important. And today, we're going to talk about tractors, because tractors are pretty important on dealing with all of those things. So without further ado, let's get on to today's episode, shall we? Hope you're having a great day on your end, though. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Anno 1800 Beginner's Guide series. I almost said Expert Campaign series. If you're interested in checking that out and you're new here, link is in the description. Additionally, if you haven't joined the Discord or want to check out stuff on the Instagram, the links for those are also in the description and on the main channel page. So, little spiel aside, today we're going to be talking about tractors. Now, tractors, do note, this is from a DLC. This is from Bright Harvest. Okay, I was about to say White Harvest. This is from Bright Harvest. So if you guys do not have the DLC, I would recommend that you do invest in getting it. I think there's a sale going on right now for like Black Friday and Cyber Monday and stuff like that. Probably there's going to be another one closer to Christmas, but, you know, keep an eye out. So we're going to be talking all about tractors, and tractors at this point are going to be very important because what we want to essentially do is utilize the space that we've actually put for the farm fields, drastically reduce it, but actually make it very, very powerful, okay? Because ultimately, let's stop the spinny spin. This is a large area that we've essentially sanctioned off from the entirety of Roma, and the expansion of the city is far more important than actually dealing with this, right? Later on, you can actually have islands that are devoted to just be farmers and have these types of crops grow there en masse. But for right now, we can't have that, honestly. We want to actually expand the settlement closer towards the docklands, and we need this space, right? So let's see. For the most part, we have a lot of these grain farms. Now, I'm not going to touch the ones up here because this is a perfect ratio to get some beer going. And we are losing out on some engineers. I do not know why. What's the problem? Oh, yeah, because we're building this. So that'll be done soon, and then they'll get back to normal. But what I think we should really focus on first is the red pepper farm, because the red pepper farm is taking 2 minutes to actually process some red peppers for us, and that is not ideal, because our goulash factory and the cannery are working faster than that. So that's at 45 seconds. Then this thing is at 48 seconds. So right now, these two farms are not doing much for us. In fact, they're more of a detriment than anything else. They're not producing enough for our current needs, and in fact, it will go down. The beef, on the other hand, is fine. The beef is actually running as intended. It's still a little bit slow, but it's producing 1 extra ton of beef every couple of cycles, and that's what the silos provide to, which also comes from Bright Harvest DLC. So we emptied out this little area that used to be a whole bunch of potato farms, and what I would like to do is actually show you how to actually set up the stuff for tractors and what you need for them. So the very first thing is you need to determine where you're going to want your actual crops to be for the long term, because this is going to be something where you kind of like pick a spot and hunker down, okay? We have a whole bunch of these farms over here, but I also want to have them over on this little island. So let's take a look at the fuel station itself. The fuel station does kind of look like the oil refinery to a point, but it has a train track to it, and this is meant to be placed along a road. So we have this marketplace over here. I'm going to move it a little bit to the left. And what I would like to do is actually put the fuel station somewhere around here, okay? Because we want to eventually build in this area, right? We can try to like make this place a little bit smaller and build a settlement around it, okay? So if we look at the fuel station itself, you'll notice that it actually makes the roads green. And it has a pretty large radius, okay? So this is going like damn near everywhere in Roma right now. It's going all the way into our industrial district. It can even go so far as close to the sawmills over in the bottom left-hand corner. So it'll be pretty good. And what we need to do is we actually need to build this up first. So the good thing with these buildings is that it has a track going straight through. If you want to reduce some slowdown with regards to your trains, you can make it possible to actually utilize both sides of the train track, but to be perfectly honest with you, I just personally don't see a need to it. If you're going on like a large-scale operation, leave a space and build a track around it. But for right now, I'm going to plop this thing down right over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a railway. Now remember that you're going to always have to have some railways that are going to be parallel tracks, right? Unless the game wants to yell at you, or you want the game to yell at you, so that's a different matter entirely. So I'm going to go ahead and build a track there. I'm also going to build a little bit of a parallel over here, but as you can see, we have some homes that are in the way and being a wee bit of a problem. I don't know why it grabbed the road with it, but we can always fix this very quickly and get rid of this section right here. Probably shouldn't run rid of this one, but it is what it is. An easy fix it. There we go. And we're going to have a parallel track over to here. And we'll extend a parallel track. Technically speaking, I should have done it from here. So we're just going to fix that out really quick. And then link it up right over here. Solve this problem really fast. You don't want to deal with these problems later on. It's just terrible. I don't know why that's not working. It's probably because the road isn't built. There we go. And we're going to do the same right over here. And fix this up like so. Great. So now the fuel station is actually connected. And the reason why we're doing this now is because we do have a stable oil route coming in from the new world. And that is really important. What in the heck is going on? Oh boy. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Let's just build you a hospital. There we go, problem solved. Because right here, it's actually a good thing we came and checked on this location. We're maxed out here with oil. We're at 900, and that's the maximum stock. So we should consider expanding upon these particular oil stores for the future use. And right now, we do have another ship over here. We have the June Flower, and what we would like to do is... honestly, find out where that route is and put the June Flower on it. So now we're in fact bringing 800 oil over to Roma consistently. And that's fantastic. So now we just have to wait for a train to actually arrive here. And hopefully this one will be that one. It looks like it is. It looks like it's not. Maybe it wants to go all the way down. Please tell me you're not going to turn right. Nope, you went left. Interesting. So eventually we're going to get some oil into here, and what it does is it produces it into fuel. It only houses 20 fuel at any given point, but the thing about this is, right, when you're building tractors, they take forever to process fuel, and I mean forever. We're gonna see that in a minute. So what I would like to do is actually build some red pepper farms over on this little island where we had our schnapps and our potato farms. And as you can see here, this is the tractor barn. What you're gonna need is 5,000 to initially build it. You need 20 steel beams and 10 steam motors. Another reason why we want to get steam motors going is to get this production underway. And the thing about this is, let's actually build the farm field first so you can actually see the little notification that pops up here. Let's make it look all fancy. Right now, the maximum we have here and that we're going to need in order for this farm to work is going to be 108 fields. Individual tiles. But if we were to add the tractor barn to it, watch what happens. Plus 50% additional. So that means it increases the amount of crop field that we're going to need to 162 for this particular pepper farm. Right? So go ahead and expand upon that as quickly as possible. And always make sure to connect it via road. You're going to have these connected with a road, otherwise the fuel will not be transported. And as you can see here, we have our train going in with 60 oil. That's actually more than this building needs to actually build, process it. So we're going to see that be deposited. They're going to produce some oil into fuel, and then they will deliver it to these red pepper farms. So what we can actually do is actually build maybe one or two more, because quite frankly, this is a very, very important thing to get optimized right now. And they always have to be connecting, okay? You cannot build it at a different spot. You have to actually connect it to the main building. You can even do a little bit over here. So we're going to utilize that little bit of space over there as well. And we're going to go until we have 162 farm fields, because that is the maximum, and we definitely want the maximum yield here. That is perfect. So now we have two farms working here. We're just going to wait for the fuel, and they are already processing it. So they will transport this via truck to these particular tractor barns. And they are going to process 1 ton of fuel every 5 minutes. This is insanely good. That's why I'm saying, like, one of these fuel depots is actually good enough to power an entire island. If we go over to production, right, we're only having 2 tractor barns right now. So if we go look at the fuel, we are massively overproducing on fuel. So we're going to be having a decent chunk of here in reserve. And now this thing is actually working, as you can see here. And another way you'll know that it's working is if you hear that little piston work. Or the gear, or whatever the heck it is. So right now, it's actually processing at 40 seconds. This is boosting it by 200%. And if we were to go over here and look at our productions with the goulash, which is what this is primarily used for, we are now massively overproducing by 1 farm. Let's get rid of the ones of whom the people are just like legitimately picking them up with, right? Let's get rid of those. So even with just that, these 2 farms alone, we have more than enough red peppers, okay? So let's check the other one, being grain. Grain is kind of suffering because we have a demand for 14 per minute when we're actually processing 11 per minute. And that is also tying into the fact that our flour is currently struggling because we need 9 demand and we are actually producing 8. So let's solve this problem now. What we're going to do is we're going to move this building all the way to the side here. Get it out of the way. We're going to delete this one. And we are going to work on... Maybe, yeah, let's actually go ahead and work on this one. We might have to move another one of these farm fields. Let's actually scooch this one over, and we'll move the piggies over to this side, like right there, so we have some extra room. Let's go ahead and put down the tractor barn. So we noticed that we were in a deficit by 3, right? Let's put down the tractor barn, so that's 50%. And you also finish a quest out here for the engineers when you do this, because they want you to do this. And let's go ahead and fill out this area with a whole bunch more farm fields, because now we're at 216. I didn't technically actually need to move that now that I think about it. So they're going to start delivering the fuel over here. And again, I'm going to look at this. It's 14. Okay, so now it's at 10, right? We're just going to wait for some of this fuel to be sent over here. It'll send it in a hot minute if this woman stops telling me exactly what I'm trying to explain to everybody, and boom. Alrighty. So now, instead of a minute, these guys are going to be processing at 20 seconds for some grain, with additional ones every couple of cycles. So, if we were to look over here, that helped us out a decent chunk right over there. Let's work on the other fields. There's a whole bunch over here. In fact, what we can do is probably get rid of every single one of these, fix out this spot, and that should just be sufficient enough. I think we should try it, but you know, it's pretty even. So we're probably gonna have to fix out these roads here a little bit. What the hell? Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's get rid of these roads over here. The game is not gonna be a little bit happy with us for a time, but who cares? We'll figure this out. We are going to move all these, and if you're interested in that, just click and drag all the way over to here so they're out of the way. And we're gonna fix that out. We're gonna fix this out. But this being a little test, is this thing gonna actually make it all the way there? No, it's not. Always check. Always check. This is a good test of your reflexes, son. No, we're gonna have to work over in this side. We have to make sure we fix out all these fields. So what we would like to ideally do is focus on these ones. Now I'm going to fully get rid of them because I want to start this from the very beginning. Okay, I do not like this design at all. I want to just focus on getting these fields and all these other things done over here because that's where we've initially put them. And it makes a lot more sense. It's closer to the fuel station as well. Again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, that you have to hunker down. And we're going to move this farm over to here. We'll just plop it down over here, I guess, for now. And what I would like to do is make this a dividing line. So we're going to put a line going all the way here to the docklands, and that is what we're going to build over in this side. If you want to be fancy, okay, we can even fix that over here if we really choose to do so by getting, you know, do the whole shift tactic and dragging. So you can go ahead and do that and build that all up there. So let's go ahead and build another one of these and immediately attach a tractor barn to this. and build out all of the farm fields. Just go as much as you possibly can. All the way to here. Perfect. I don't care about the news right now. Everything is fine. And we're going to build another one. So we initially had 5 over here, okay? Right now, we are massively struggling because we got rid of them. But the goal is going to be that we're going to supplement all of those fields that we had over here with tractors, make it look cleaner and more efficient. So let's go ahead and build these farms. And truth be told, I think only one more and we'll be good. And go and build that one. And build this over to here. And this all the way down and fix that little spot. Okay, let's take a look. So far, so good. I think once they actually do have the fuel in there, then we should be golden. No pun intended, considering how these are literally golden fields. And this also does help with your maintenance costs because you're not spamming a whole bunch of these farms at all. So you're just really focusing as much as you possibly can to get, like, there we go. I think only one of these ones actually now has tractors active. So now that's the second one that's going to be active. And when that goes up, we'll see a little spike happen. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, are you working? Yep, it's working now. So that means I'll probably go here now. There you go. So we didn't technically even need this last one. But now that we have it situated, we can go over here and fix up the whole flour problem. And we can go ahead and build one more flour mill because we're going to need it for the mass amount of bread that these people are requiring. So we got the grain situated, we now have the flour situated, and we are also overproducing on our bread. Additionally to that, we also have red peppers that are coming in at a very good rate, which means we can actually expand, if we really want, on our canned food production, because right now we have enough to do so. And the cool thing about this is you're never going to have any issues with regards to getting grain to your silos because they're going to be producing so much and so fast, along with bonus resources every now and then, that these things will constantly be working. Do note, you can also do this in the new world, right? You can actually have tractor barns situated with these guys as well. The only difference here is that you're going to have to actually import and bring in, rather, the tractor bar, the steam motors. My brain just did not want to function at all. The steam motors from the old world over to here. So do note that if the buildings like miraculously catch on fire or they explode and you don't have enough, you're just going to have to keep bringing them from the old world back over to here. So that is the beauty behind tractors. And as you can currently see, we are doing a decent chunk with the red peppers. We can even go so far as to start bringing in some oil for Capua, because Capua, if you recall, has a lot of the hops farms. And these hop farms take forever to process it. Forever. There's plenty of other resources here. We even had some red peppers. So Capua, for example, could be a very, very good location for some tractors. So this is also like, because we have that one island that's bringing in enough oil for us, we can have oil brought not only to Roma, but we can also bring it to Capua, and it will actually be very, very powerful. So this is a little bit of a video introducing you to tractors and how powerful they can be. Definitely a DLC that I would say purchase when it's cheap. Don't ever purchase them when they're at max, honestly. But definitely a good DLC to invest money in. That whole area looks a lot cleaner. We can build around it. The next task is going to be getting rid of all those pig farms because that's causing vulgarity. And we don't want to do that. We want to just build further along this route, along the mountainside, and actually expand the city as much as we possibly can. So in the next episode, we're probably going to be finishing out with the engineers and working to get into the investors and whatever other area really interests everybody with regards to guides and whatnot. I guess that's where I will cover. There are a little bit of tips and tricks going forward that we can talk about individually, but this one, never sleep on tractors. These ones are really powerful. Get the DLC. Trust me, it's worth it. So, until next time, my friends, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Please consider like, commenting, subscribing, hit that bell button, sharing it with your friends. As always, I appreciate every single support that I receive on all the videos, and just your comments are very, very worthwhile. I always enjoy responding to them, and I will catch you on the next episode, my Rantians.